My name is Cassie. I've been married to my husband, Danny, for 30 long years now. We had one kid, but they are already 27 years old and live independently. Danny is 58 years old and works as the manager of a company. I still respect his ability to work, but since we've been together for so long now, work is the only thing that has his attention. We don't fight or anything of that sort, we just exist together, which is what I had thought was going to continue when we retire. The thing is that Danny has been acting a bit strange recently. He's nearing his 60s, and yet he's starting to pay attention to how he looks, which isn't to say everyone in their 60s doesn't take care of their appearance. It's just that he never has up until now. He tried out various colognes and outfits, and even changed up his hairstyle in a way I'd never seen before. He was never interested in brand items, but now, every time he gets a little extra pay, he secretly buys brand clothes. Recently, the suits he wears are from various expensive brands. I was worried that he had found another woman, and so I confronted him about it, but all he did was get annoyed.
You're crazy. Why are you accusing me of cheating now? We've been together for 30 years. Why would I do that?
I understand that, but forgive me for being a little suspicious when you've been acting so out of character recently.
I'm a manager. Don't you think I should at least look the part as well? To be accused of cheating for something like that hurts.
That's how that conversation turned out. I have a different reason for my suspicions, though. We both use a credit card, but we also use a family card as well. Danny was interested in the idea of having a card for the family when he was in his 30s. He only really told me the amount of money that was in the account and nothing else. I wasn't just satisfied with that and downloaded the bank app on my phone to be able to see for myself as well. From there, I saw the names of stores that a woman would love to shop at written in the bank statements. Since I've never received any presents from those stores, it could only mean one thing. Since he became the manager, he stays out longer throughout the night. I figured he found a woman he was interested in at a club or something along that line. The thing that saddens me is that he looks a lot younger and a bit cooler now than when I first married him, but he isn't doing it for me. I guess I should be more upset over this, but it's been 30 years and recently it hasn't been all that happy. Of course, I am sad, and it shows as I am extremely distracted at work thinking over this. It seems like everyone else at work has seemed to notice my behavior as well. At home, it's the same. Up until I fall asleep, I think of Danny. There are even nights when I don't sleep at all. Due to the constant restless nights, my body seems to have been showing signs of weakening, or so I thought. I ended up hospitalized one day when I passed out at work. I remember hearing the concerned voices of my coworkers, but I just closed my eyes. 3 days later, I woke up, and it seemed like Danny had just arrived at the hospital at the exact time as well.
You're awake. I'll get to the doctor.
He didn't even bother to look concerned about my well-being, just went straight after a doctor. When the doctor came, he explained what caused me to suddenly lose consciousness like that. Turns out, I'm sick, and my body couldn't handle all the stress of all these things, which made me lose consciousness. The doctor wanted to run some tests on me, so I'll have to stay another day at the hospital to hear the results. Once the doctor got up and left the room, Danny was about to do the same. Hey, you're leaving?
Yeah, it's not like I can do anything here.
You could always talk to me.
We don't talk at home. Why would I have to talk to you now?
Leaving me alone like this is a bit heartless.
Stop trying to sound all cute. It doesn't look good on you. Act your age.
Why can't I? I'm not feeling all too well.
Exactly, which means the doctors or nurses should be here, rather than me. I'm going home.
Without so much as a glance, Danny left the hospital. I felt so alone that day, so I tried texting and calling him multiple times, but he didn't come back to visit me. Our son Tate came to visit me instead. The next day, the test results came in with good and bad news. The good news was that whatever is causing me to be sick isn't that far along to the point of concern. But the bad news is that it's still not safe enough for me to go home, so I need to stay at the hospital for a month. Danny was there with me to hear the results. After I told him the news, he looked rather happy about me having to stay in the hospital for a month.
Well, that sucks. At least you'll be safe here if you pass out or anything. Maybe you should stay a bit longer, just in case. Plus, you can relax.
Danny said with a smile. It may sound like he was saying that because he's worried, but I know that is not the case. He was practically telling me to never come home. Danny left the room I was in afterward. It sounded like he was talking to someone on the phone.
She lost consciousness and now has to be hospitalized for a whole month. She'll be fine, so let's take this chance and go on a vacation abroad.
A vacation abroad? I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and hope that he was talking to our son, but that's unlikely. After he finished his phone call, he came back to the room, packed up, and left. After that, no matter how much I contacted him, he never answered. I have a gut feeling that I know what's going on. After a week at the hospital, I decided to look at the bank statements for our family card. My gut feeling was correct. He did go on a vacation abroad. I searched the name of the stores on the statements. It seems like he went to Greece. They were all expensive stores and restaurants in Greece. Seems like he's been having fun. Finally, I saw a jewelry store where the statement showed he spent a hefty sum on that place. He went with his mistress. I didn't want to believe that he was cheating on me, but I can't deny it anymore when I have the proof right in front of me. I didn't want to keep this ongoing feeling of stress much longer, so I decided to make a social media account and look her up. I looked up the name of the hotel written on the bank statements, and amongst the many people posting from the hotel, I found one English post there. I looked at the post, and there he was. It looked like an old couple enjoying their time together. I found more posts from the account that'll disappear in 24 hours. The jewelry that was bought from the mistress was even posted with the caption, "Thanks for the present, Danny. I love it and you so much." My hand that was holding the phone started to shake uncontrollably. I was furious. While I'm here suffering from illness, my so-called husband is out in Greece with his mistress having a great time. He chose to be with her rather than me. Maybe it was the need for revenge that helped, but somehow I recovered quickly. I was allowed to leave the hospital 2 weeks earlier than expected. I didn't mention this to Danny and went home. I wanted to start planning my revenge immediately. I wasn't able to get into contact with him from the moment I was hospitalized up until I was discharged, and now he finally calls me.
I can finally call you. I had no battery or signal for the longest time.
If you managed to go this long without battery or any signal, then maybe you don't need a phone at all.
Well, anyways, where are you right now? I went to visit you at the hospital, but they told me you weren't here.
I was able to leave early, so I'm back home.
Why didn't you tell me that?
You didn't have any battery or signal, right?
Don't be so smug. Anyway, I'll be heading home now.
I sat there after he so rudely ended the call, wondering why he was so mad at me. Also, why couldn't he come up with a better excuse for not being able to even text or call? If he didn't have any battery or signal, how was he able to work? It's like he's not even bothering to try. 1 hour later, I get a phone call from Danny again.
Hey, where are you? Where's our house?
Oh, you're finally home? You were supposed to be at work and yet you finally come home?
Where is our house?
I sold it off.
Sold it? Who allowed you to do that?
Myself?
I live there too, so obviously my permission would be needed.
Oh, my bad. I sold the house while he was still away. It was a nice place with easy access to public transportation. Everybody wanted to live here. It was a real struggle to find an opening. By the way, somebody already bought it, so I'm gonna need you to hurry up and leave.
Why would you do something like that?
Why? You're the one who spent the money that was saved for both of us. I knew you went to Greece, and all the gifts you've been giving to another woman.
What are you talking about? Why would I do any of that?
I know you've been cheating on me. You don't need to try and hide it now.
That trip to Greece was for work, and that gift was for the bartender at the bar I always go to.
Just stop. Her name is Ashley, right? I found her on social media.
What? How did you...
I've been looking at our bank statements for a while now.
I'm in charge of the statements. There's no way you should be able to...
I had the app installed on my phone. I can easily see where you've been using the card and when.
You're kidding, right?
Search it up.
I thought I was hiding it pretty well.
Anyways, I'll be keeping the money I got from selling the house, okay? That should be okay with you considering what you've done.
What about where I'm going to live? Where are you? I'll go where you are.
No, I don't want to live with you anymore.
Are you saying that you want a divorce?
Of course I am. You weren't there for me when I needed you to be there for me the most. Plus, I can't be with someone who uses the money that we had saved together.
I refuse. She was around for fun. A distraction.
You were around that so-called distraction for a while now. I wanted to spend the rest of our days when we retired with you, using the money we had saved up. That's impossible now, I guess. You used my money on a different woman.
You'd regret divorcing me. You can't sustain yourself with just your paycheck.
I actually could. I am making a lot more than you think I am. I already explained everything to Tate and sent a letter to your job explaining the situation. I wasn't aware that the woman you were seeing was one of your employees. Isn't that kind of relationship not allowed at your job?
You're kidding, right? Did you tell my job? Are you crazy?
It would make sense for me to go crazy after discovering that my husband is cheating on me, not to mention using up my money. I doubt that someone wouldn't go crazy after all that.
She has a family as well.
So? You guys are scum who don't appreciate your family. Anyways, hurry up and pack your stuff up, or else some trouble will go down with the next owners of the house.
Wait, hang on.
Goodbye. We were officially divorced shortly after. Danny ran into some trouble with the mistress's husband as well. His manager position was also taken from him after they found out about the affairs. All those times he took advantage of his position have now been turned tenfold. The mistress got fired from the company. She wasn't that great of an employee to begin with. 6 months later, Danny started knocking on my door. I'm not sure how he found my address. When I opened the doors, he was on his hands and knees asking for my forgiveness.
Please let us go back to how life was before. You were the one for me.
This is embarrassing. Stop.
She's crazy.
Yeah, I could guess that a homewrecker for both herself and another's would be less than sane. Just like you.
It's not that. Since she got fired and has no job, she can't pay for any of the money that her husband is demanding. So she's asking me to help pay for it. I try to explain that my salary is barely enough anymore, thanks to you.
This isn't my fault. It's yours.
Does it matter?
It does, but whatever. What did you want?
I want to be back with you. I can't be with her any longer, emotionally and financially.
You have no regard for anybody but yourself. What about my emotions and my money? I only have negative emotions, and whenever I see you, there's no way I can be with you again. We're divorced. Leave me alone. I slammed the door in his face. He kept knocking on the door or pressing the doorbell, and when I peeked out a window, he was still on his knees. I didn't know what to do, so I called Tate, and he immediately came over.
Dad, after all you've done to Mom, what do you think you're trying to pull here? Leave me and Mom alone.
Tate said in my defense. I think after having his son talk to him, he finally got the message. He finally left me alone, and I moved to where Tate lives. His wife had offered to let me live with them, and I couldn't be more grateful. I finally feel like I can have fun as I watch my grandson.